Story now. Police Minister Bheki Cele has spoken of plans to digitise the registration of firearms. Cele says police have been struggling to keep unregistered firearms out of the hands of criminals. But civil rights organisation Action Society argues police wouldn't be facing this dilemma if they were making use of the firearm permit system, which is already in place. The system was turned off last year due to non-payment by the police force. So for more on this, I'm joined now from Cape Town by Ian Cameron from Action Society. Ian, thank you so much for your time this morning. Talk to us a little bit about the firearm permit system. How exactly does it work?
Good morning. Thank you very much. Yes, so basically the firearm permit system was developed by a company called FDA, and about 2 years ago it was switched off. But to give context as to how it works and how it was developed, firstly, the current National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Cele, was the one who went into the procurement process to acquire the specific system for the South African Police Service. And he then, literally after minutes of accepting it and completing a deal with FDA that was approved by National Treasury, after an entire audit was done, that this is the right system. So just to give context, there was no wrongdoing in that process. He then suddenly said, we can't use this again, but it had already been in work in the South African Police Service. This means how the system works is that when a police member signs on duty, say for example in the morning at the start of a shift, they then put their thumb or a finger on to recognize a fingerprint. They are registered on the system, booking on duty. It's connected to the personnel system of the South African Police Service. It then says what firearm and how many are you booking out for your shift, including the amount of ammunition. Now, why is this important? Well, what basically happened after this was that the South African Police Service now is working on a paper system. So they are not actually allowing us to use this specific system to give us an accurate way of seeing exactly how many firearms are currently deployed on operational level. We're basically just dependent on a little piece of paper that can get lost anywhere. So there's no real way of saying how many firearms are being used.
So then in that case, then, Ian, that means that, so number one, we've got many firearms that are from the police that are circulating in the public out there, some maybe even in the hands of criminals. Number two, you're saying that had the system actually been functioning properly, we wouldn't have a situation where we are now finding Police Minister Bheki Cele wanting to develop yet another system for instead of using the current firearms permit system.
I think you've summarized it perfectly. I think it's a blatant lie that Bheki Cele is saying we need digitization. We already have a digital system. In fact, it's an absolutely brilliant system, and it is not working due to non-payment. And it was instructed by the current National Commissioner, Cele, and Minister Bheki Cele. So at the moment, in my opinion, and I stand to be corrected, they are causing for the South African Police Service to be the largest supplier of illicit firearms to criminals in the country because they are not managing their own firearms right. Remember that FDA system, the firearm permit system, FPS, monitors the use of over 500,000 state firearms in control of the South African Police Service. It is crucial that that system functions properly.
So does that mean that the Police Minister Bheki Cele is lying to the public by saying that we need to develop another system when there's a current system that would be operational if payments were just being made?
Absolutely. No, it's a blatant lie from him and Cele. There's no reason for them not to have that system functioning properly. There's no reason for them not to pay for it. It went through all the right channels to acquire. The procurement process was 100%. There was nothing wrong with the audit done. The private sector and several auditing firms did the value proposition or determined exactly what the financial value of that system was before it was procured. And therefore, there's no reason for it not to work. So this is a blatant lie. It's this comment by Bheki Cele that they need a digital system is a sugarcoating or a smokescreen rather to hide his own and that the incompetence of the National Commissioner. It's a blatant lie and it's another opportunity to loot tax money.
All right, so when you're saying that there's another opportunity to loot tax money, are you implying that perhaps the police minister would want to have his own way of procurement or his other procurement where he utilizes, a way of perhaps even capturing or trying to siphon money in some other way? Because that's saying that our Minister of Police is actually corrupt.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I need to tread carefully, but I stand to be corrected, and I'm waiting to be proved wrong, because the same Minister of Police was fired as the National Commissioner of Police less than a decade ago for corruption, and now he is the Minister of Police. So I would not be surprised. There's a definite procurement issue here. There's no reason for this system not to be working, and it's in the best interest of all citizens in the country. So at the moment, especially from the Minister of Police's offer and the current state of affairs in the South African Police Service, I cannot help but to wonder what the story in the background is. Does it not suit the pockets of someone in a political position, or is there a real merit reason for this system not to be used? Because while this supposed debate is going on, we're seeing innocent lives being lost because of state firearms doing the rounds on the streets. The other thing, Faith, that's very important to mention is that, it doesn't help that Bheki Cele now tells us that we need a digital system. The root cause of this issue is not only the system. There's an integrity problem in the South African Police Service, and specifically in the SAPS leadership. There's no point in digitizing a system. If someone wants to share a firearm with a criminal, they're going to do that. So we need to sort out and clean up the police as well. Yeah. It's not as simple as just having the system. So we're arguing that, yes, the digital system does exist, but that is not the sole point. There's an integrity issue in the police, and I think this is a parallel strategy. We need to make sure that the current system functions properly, and at the same time, we need to sort out the integrity of the South African Police Service.
It certainly is an ongoing conversation in Cameron. We'll leave it there, though, for this morning. Thank you very much for your time.